This video is going to be a slightly different one. We are going to take a small break from the field and we are going to focus on the art of photography. Specifically the art of processing your photography. Even better, I'll be demonstrating this using photographs that you guys have captured. Stay tuned for the rest of this video and I'll show you how to transform a raw photo like this into a completely eye-catchy piece of art. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kenneth Lawrence, and last month I put up a poll in the community tab asking you guys if I should start an additional series where I process your photographs. Out of the couple hundred that voted, 84% of you voted yes. Now the goal of this series is to be more interactive with you and help some of you improve your art and craft. If you're new to the channel, feel free to check out my main content where I take you behind the scenes on all of my wildlife photography adventures. Coming back to the video, you guys got in touch from across India and some of you even submitted photographs from overseas, which was absolutely incredible. Of course, I couldn't select everyone who sent across their work, but I have selected 4 of you whose images range from easy to difficult. And I hope this video about processing benefits a lot of you. The first image that I'm going to be processing is from Arshia in Gurgaon. At 12 years old, she's the youngest nature photographer being featured today. Arshia, I love the soft background in addition to your subject, and I love the side lighting that you've captured. Zooming in, we can see that the focus is on the Prinia's back, just about missing the eye. Let's open Camera Raw in Photoshop and see how we can enhance your image. Alright, so the white balance and the histogram look great, but I'm going to push your exposure just a tiny bit. And maybe we can open up the shadows a bit to bring out some more details in the bird's back. The highlights on this side are too distracting, so we'll reduce that a little bit as well. I'm also going to restore some contrast overall. By pressing P, you can see the before and after preview. Here's a nice subtle and natural difference that we can see already. Pushing up the vibrance will make the muted colors pop out. You can even see the warm tones coming to life. The Prinia's leg looks overly orange, so under the HSL adjustments, I'm going to desaturate the orange just a bit. Let's restore some of those yellows that we lost. There's the progress again, before and after. For those of you who are absolutely new to processing, the adjustments that we just did are called global adjustments because they affect the entire image. Let's head over to the local adjustments so we can work on targeted areas of the composition. I'm going to open up the shadows a little more on the subject. Remember to turn your mask on so you can see that your corrections don't spill onto the background. Let's bump up the texture and clarity in there. Maybe we can also add in some more saturation and then finally some sharpness. Overall, I think we can increase the contrast slightly. Remember to keep monitoring your histogram. There's a spike in the highlights, and that's coming from the bottom right side of the perineum. Another local adjustment brush should do the trick in reducing it. To avoid going overboard with your correction and having it spill outside the bright areas, select only the highlights in the luminosity range. This will ensure that the darker areas don't get affected. Let's add another local adjustment brush, this time on the face of the bird. Brightening it up will take the audience's attention straight to the subject. Our progress so far looks pretty good, and now let's add some overall sharpness. Use the masking tool to ensure that the background isn't unnecessarily sharpened. A little bit of noise reduction will also help. In addition to the corrections that we just did, I think we can make the perineum stand out just a little more. And I'm gonna use the graduated filter to do exactly that. Since the source of light is coming from the right, I'm gonna reduce the exposure a little bit on the left. We are essentially creating a play of light and shadow now. How about we add another graduated mask and accentuate the sunlight this time? And there's your final image, Arshia. I hope you like it, and I also took the liberty to paint out the reeds in the bottom right. Again, for those of you who are absolutely new to post-processing and had trouble following any of these steps, don't worry about it. I've left a tutorial link in the description that you can always refer to. Our second image was sent in by Pawan, another young photographer from Nagpur. Here's an orange-headed thrush framed within an Indian almond tree. I selected the shot because it can be quite tricky for a budding photographer to process, especially because of this hotspot up here and the shadow area where the subject is in. The histogram has a spike to the right and a good chunk of it to the left. So let's reduce the highlights and push open the shadows. Let's get the exposure up just a tiny bit and also restore some contrast. We still have to address the hotspot, the dark subject, and the overall white balance. To get a little better judgment, I'm going to boost up the vibrance just a bit. The branches of the tree have a strong magenta tone, and I'm going to move the tint slider a little to the left and introduce some green. Because the tones of the leaves have gotten deeper, I'm going to desaturate the green just a little bit. Time for some local adjustments so we can make our subject stand out more. Exposure, shadows, texture, clarity, and sharpness are what I love working with. The face could also be a little brighter. For the hotspot, we're going to use another local adjustment brush and reduce the highlights. Maybe even the exposure on it. Make sure that you select only the bright areas in the range mask. Our progress looks pretty good so far. We can now fix the white balance by adding some warmth. To isolate the subject a little more, I'm going to add a couple of graduated masks. One on the bottom left and another on the right side. Now let's get some sharpness in there. You can see that the image already has a lot of noise. So just a little sharpness and a lot of masking to see that only the subject is affected and not the background. A little noise reduction as well, and there you have it. Post-processing doesn't mean that you have to stylize your imagery and make it all fancy. It's simply the understanding of how light and color naturally interact with your subject and how you can accentuate it. Our third image was photographed by Rich, a budding nature photographer from the UK. I selected his Kestrel shot because it gave me an opportunity to do something different and create a minimalistic, high-key output. I always steer towards bright, vibrant images, so this one was perfect to experiment with. The histogram is already far to the right, but I'm still going to open up the exposure to get some more detail in the bird. Let's restore some contrast and bump the shadows till it looks a little more pleasing. Some clarity will also make the image pop. When processing high-key shots, make sure that the edges of your subject don't completely merge with the background. It can look cool sometimes, but not always. Monochrome is what takes high-key photography to a whole new level. So let's drop the saturation completely. Let's boost the detail in the subject with some local adjustments. Texture, clarity, and sharpness are what I'm going to use again. Don't forget to erase the spillover from the background. You can do this by pressing the Alt or Option key. Let's boost some overall sharpness. Maybe even play around with the adjustments just a little more. There's a ton of noise because of the high ISO. When working with static subjects, always remember to drop your shutter speed and make sure you have a tripod. It's extra effort, but it will always ensure a quality shot. I decided to give the final image a 16:9 crop, whilst keeping the Kestrel dead center and maintaining the negative space on the left. Thanks for sending across your image, Rich. I hope you like this black and white rendition. Our fourth and final image was sent in by Namita. She's an incredibly passionate birder and nature photographer from Pune, and I selected her image because of how challenging it was to process. Let's check out how we completely transformed it from a dull raw file into a vibrant, high contrast image like this. To be completely honest, I didn't know where to begin processing. The flycatcher's tail was covered by this rock, and the background was completely flat. The white balance looks fine, so I'm not gonna touch that slider just yet. First things first, let's get the overall highlights down. The bird's face is losing detail in the shadow areas, So let's bump up the shadow slider. The histogram is leaning a little to the right, so I'm gonna centralize it a tiny bit by reducing the exposure. The background is still too bright, and it takes the viewer's focus away from the subject. So let's get into the local adjustments and reduce the exposure there. Check the mask box to see the exact areas you're painting on. Reduce your brush size where you have small tricky areas that need addressing, just like the feathers of the crest. Make sure that there's no halo or no outline around your subject. A touch of dehaze and some shadow reduction could help a little more. Let's get to the flycatcher now. I'm gonna reduce the highlights to make it match more with the new background. Then add some usual texture, clarity and sharpness to make it stand out. A little more contrast would blend it better with the ambience. If you noticed, the face has also gotten a bit darker. Another local adjustment brush can fix that. Always try to retain visible information in the extreme shadows and highlights. I'm gonna sharpen the eye just a bit more. Now that the subject and background match a little better, let's throw in some additional contrast in the global adjustments to achieve that arty look. Of course, those tricky areas around the edges need to be finessed out. The image is closer to being complete, but we are still far from finished. We worked a lot on the shadows. Now how about we add in some rays of light? There are several ways that you can achieve this, but I'm gonna use the local adjustment layer and freehand to paint some directional light. Push up the exposure a bit and you can already see the manipulation of light taking place. Increasing the highlights and the shadows a little will also make it seem realistically interactive with your scene. Adding a little bit of warmth will replicate the soft yellow light of Golden Hour. Some color contrast can also be achieved by reducing the color temperature in the background adjustment mask. Experiment a little more by expanding this bright mask adjustment to the other areas of your composition. And be careful not to overdo it. Finally, let's add in some overall sharpness. And there you have it. We've taken a very flat image and completely transformed it by manipulating how light and shadow interact with the scene. I hope you like the output, Namita. This one took me ages to finish in real time. Our cameras may not be able to render light and color like the way we see it. Other times, we may shoot in situations where there's hardly any daylight available, and that's why it's so important to know Camera Raw or Lightroom or any other professional image processing software. Photography doesn't end at the push of a button. Once you have your shot, you need to be able to develop it. You have to capture light and then master how to orchestrate it later. If you enjoyed this processing video, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. I may not be able to bring you the processing series every week, but I'll definitely do it as often as time permits. Over the next couple of months, I have a ton of on-location content that I'll bring you. I've also had the opportunity of exploring locations that no nature photographer has been to before. Stay tuned for all of that, and I'll see you in the next one.